Rent a Girlfriend Season 2, Episode 5. And I think this is going to be a little bit more of a shorter review, of a review in the short side, because to be honest, this episode is pretty straightforward in the general theme of the episode, because I would describe this episode as basically our main protagonist, Kazuya, trying to figure out what gift to give to Chizuru. And I mean, this sort of episode we see a lot in other romance animes. You know, your typical protagonist having to struggle to what gift to his or her main interest, love interest. And this is what happens in this episode. We have Kazuya throughout the whole episode finding out that, well, that basically Chizuru's birthday is soon. In fact, in the episode it happens in the same day, so he's trying to figure out what to give her, and he is basically trying to go in all sort of ways to try to figure out that what gift to give her. For example, he rents out Sumi, he goes to a couple of department stores, he has to brainstorm what to give her. He does a lot of stuff to figure out what to give her. And the episode basically starts out like the last episode ended, which is, in the last episode I speculated, I questioned myself if the episode was going to carry out what happened with the last episode. What I mean by this is, I was trying to figure out in the last episode if the last episode was going to carry on into this episode, because as we know, in the last episode, well, Kazuya was figured out by Chizuru that he was spending the night with Ruka, and of course I didn't know if that was going to carry on until the next episode, and I didn't know if it was going to be a big deal, a big part of the plot. But I mean, apparently it actually was, because this is one of those things that you can sort of doubt yourself, because those sort of things in other animes go unnoticed, because from one episode to another they already moved on and they are on to the next problem. But here in Rent a Girlfriend, what happened in the last episode, getting figured out and, you know, spending the night with Ruka, did actually have an effect on the next episode. So yeah, I mean, that is one answer question that I had in the last episode, that it did actually have a part in the plot. I thought it was going to be something more casual, or simply that it wasn't going to be mentioned, they were going to move on into something else. But no, that is how the episode started. Basically there was a misunderstanding, and well, Chizuru, I don't know if she really doesn't believe him or if she's more jealous than anything else, but either way, I mean, she doesn't accept what the explanation of Kazuya is. And well, Kazuya basically has to, in order to fix the problem, has to give her a gift. One, because it is her birthday, and two, because I mean, that will in a sense make things better, because I mean, as things stand before he gave her the gift, things were not looking good. So yeah, I mean, he has to figure out what to give her. He rents out Sumi, and poor Sumi, I mean, she likes Kazuya. I think we can all agree at this point that she likes Kazuya, and I mean, I do feel bad for her, because throughout the whole episode she was enjoying herself, but at the same time Kazuya in his own mind was, well, you know, was trying to figure out, was using her in a sense, trying to figure out what to give Chizuru, what to give Mizuhara. I do feel bad for her, because she was enjoying herself, but without knowing that Kazuya was doing it for another reason. I mean, at the end of the episode she did find out that Kazuya was doing, or was renting her out, because he had another motive in mind. So yeah, and she was of course upset. But I mean, I guess she kind of made it up by asking when his birthday was. I don't know how that made her happy, but apparently it did. So I mean, that is something, I guess. So at least she ended up the episode being happy. And I guess everybody ended the episode being happy except for Kazuya, because I mean, he's in his room eating his nails out, basically rolling around in the floor, trying to figure out if Chizuru liked the present. And to be honest, I didn't actually had any idea throughout the whole episode what Kazuya was going to give Chizuru. Never anything came to mind, to be honest. And when the episode ended, when we find out it was plum, well, sour plum, I was actually surprised, to be honest. I wasn't expecting anything, because like I said already, I didn't have any idea of what he was going to give her, but definitely not a plum, definitely not something that was eatable. So yeah, that caught me by surprise. And well, apparently Mizuhara enjoyed it, because again, at the end of the day, it is what you give with all your heart, per se. Even Sumi explains it, that matters, not so much the gift. Of course, it does matter, the gift. It is not to say that the gift doesn't matter, but it matters more the intent that you give him. Of course, if you give someone a rock, even though you are giving it with the most intent, with the most love, I mean, the person is not going to like it, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, that present does matter in a sense, but matters more what is your intent behind it. What is your intent behind giving that present to the person? So that is one lesson, I guess, we can can learn from this episode that Sumi gave to Kazuya, and Kazuya took it to heart, and yeah, I mean, that is why he gave her something eatable. And yeah, I mean, I guess that was basically the episode. Pretty straightforward, your typical trying to figure out what to give to your boyfriend or girlfriend or main love interest at present, and that is the basic main plot of this episode. We'll see what happens in the next episode. We'll see if things advance a little bit faster, because I think in the last couple of episodes things have slowed down a little bit. Not that it's a bad thing or anything, but I mean, let's see if in the next episode things will get a little bit faster, if the plot will introduce us to more characters. We already saw Ruka, we already saw Sumi, we already saw Mami, and of course we already saw Mizuhara, but let's see if future episodes we'll see actually all of them interact or all of them in the same episode, because until this point it has only been episode focused on one person mainly. We haven't got those episodes where all the main female protagonists are involved, so let's see if we can see that in future episodes. But yeah, I mean, I guess that will be my review. Like I said, a shorter review for obvious reasons, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.